Alright, we're back with a quick deck tech, this time with the slightly updated list we were working on from last week. Really didn't make any changes to the main deck. Obviously the one of Zurgo was a little bit awkward in some situations last week. I want to do a little bit more testing with it, as it is basically generic Ragavan with different pluses and minuses. Obviously not as powerful. Having more one-drop creatures does make worse top decks, but it does give you a better early push against certain decks, especially decks like Tron and such. Sideboard slots we changed. The Stone of Iraq we changed to a Rest in Peace, since there is really not much scam in the meta right now. I mean, there is some, but deck's a lot weaker, so regular Rest in Peace makes a lot more sense against Living End. And the other card we cut was our one of Grim Lavamancer, because creature decks just really aren't back, for one of copy of Exquisite Firecraft. Main deck, been pretty happy with most of the cards in it. Obviously we're still testing Ragavan and Zurgo a little bit. The one of Eidolon seems like just about the right number. Bone Crusher Giant, it's a fine card, pretty much no matter when you draw it. It could be a little bit of card advantage with the Stomp plus body, but still dies to Bolt, so a little bit awkward there. One thing I've noticed about this sideboard and configuration stuff so far, obviously you're lacking cards like Path to Exile, cards like Deflecting Palm, more copies of Exquisite Firecraft for particular matchups. You're bringing in some situational cards that you might not otherwise play in your deck. Relic is a card that is a little bit awkward sometimes, but does enough against slowing down Living End. Helps against decks like Murktide, especially coming down on turn 1. I think it's worth testing that a little bit more. The Wear Tears and the Smash. Ideally, I'd like one more anti-artifact enchantment piece, but really there haven't been that many artifact and enchantment decks in the format right now. And Sternbridge is a card I continue to like to test in theory. The problem is we never seem to draw it. So, matchups we want it. This is certainly a card that can be a KO, but like I said, it's not a hard lock anymore, as a lot of decks have, shatter effects or counter spells or thought seizes. Ways to deal with this one way or another. It does buy you time, which can be, all you can ask for in certain matchups. Leyline continues to be the card probably the most on the cutting block. The matchups you theoretically want this against Scam, Burn Mirrors. Really, that's about it. You could potentially bring it in against some other deck that's playing a bunch of Thoughtseize, discard effects. So basically the 8-rack, but not really a card that I see myself, if I were to continue this model long term, that I would probably want to play. Probably would want another card like, say, Path to Exile, Deflecting Palm, another copy of Exquisite Firecraft. Just doesn't seem like the ideal card in a lot of situations. Or if you really want another card for the Burn Mirror, a second copy of Core Firewalker. But that said, I'm still interested in testing this weird configuration a little bit. Today's matchup, we'll see some of the cards come in. I know I don't play the tightest in today's video, and it's only one match, but I think it does also illustrate some of the pain points Burn suffers from time to time, and that is, when do you point your burn spells at your opponent's creatures? When do you point your spells at your opponent's face? Is turn 1 Ragavan basically a Bolt the Bird situation? And also you need to understand DRC math and Tarmogoyf math. I got caught up in one of those two. I'm not going to reveal which one, but basically you need to keep track of Delirium in your graveyard and Goyf's power and toughness in relation to, if I'm casting an instant or sorcery, trying to kill it will increase its toughness and not be able to kill it. So those are lessons that need to be learned. And once again, with the holidays coming up, I'm just kind of trying to do a quick video to at least continue our Burn upload every week. That said, if you do like Burn content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as we get into the new year, we'll be back to the full leagues, but for the next week or two, we might have a little bit quicker gameplay, just to have something out there for you guys, that I'm not forgetting the Burn fan for the holidays. That said, hope everybody has a Merry Christmas here in the United States, or if you celebrate Christmas in your country. Otherwise, I hope you have a great holiday season and a great new year. So, that's it. Let's get into the match this week. Alright, we're here with a quick match with Boros Burn. His hand is reasonable enough. Bolt into Charm plus Skewer. So, here it may send pass. Could just bolt main phase, but we'll hold it bolt just in case. Okay, looks like a monkey on one. This is where you kind of have this weird dichotomy of don't really want to deal that much damage to myself or use a burn spell, but could pretend like we have something here such as Searing Blaze in case they dash a monkey, but I think it's just best to cast a spell while they have no mana up. So, Preordain, not cracking their fetch, which I think is a little suspect, but I guess they don't know exactly what they want to fetch yet, so I still think you would Preordain first, then I guess you don't want the card that you scry to the bottom, but reasonable enough card here to jam. I don't really care if it gets spell pierced or not. So, which seems like it's exactly what's going to happen. So, my upkeep. One does get to connive here. Opponent would be at 6 if we pointed all burn at the face, so that is something to note. Or Tide Regent, which means basically we're dead here. Opponent hits us for 7, hits us for 7 again. There's no single draw that gets us out of this situation. If we named all the burn spells at their face, we would, at least in theory, have the draw, but Ledger Shredder itself might have killed us here, too, in addition to this, so. Plus, they'd still have a monkey running around, so. And we draw a land, so moving on. Alright. Rest in Peace is okay against them. Firecraft's okay. Snaring Bridges are fine. Smash is not really a card. Sanctifier is not really a card. The Blood Moon Effect's not really the matchup for it. Relics could be cards we could consider bringing in. Roiling Vortexes we definitely want out. So Rest in Peace basically blanks DRC, blanks Murktide Regents. Is that enough? Alright, try it like this. Select to play first. This hand is fairly reasonable on the play. Goblin God. Well, it gets land, yay. Problem is, in the post-board games, they have so many one-mana plays that are problematic. Let's go and play a Goblin God here. Another DRC. Yep. So no matter what, these DRCs will not be turned on this turn. Well, they could be, I guess. Okay, so 2 archetypes. Yeah, Preordained will only be their 3rd card type. So go ahead and fetch. Spell Snare, Spell Snare. Clever. That was dumb on my part. I'm playing like trash tonight. Yep. Because creature was the other archetype they needed, so. It's Preordain. Block there, take 1. Pass to our opponent. Opponent notably should not have a DRC in play and should be at 1. So land, pass. We know they have both Spell Pierce and Spell Snare. Okay, we no longer have Spell Pierce, so we know for sure they have Spell Snare in hand, so Oop. Looking for a removal spell, most likely. Okay, and we win. Alright, rest in peace. Still not the best of cards, so no Sanctifier. I'm not. Put the Eidolon out. Nope. No, later can't keep. Sand is fine. Back Swift Spear. One has a turn 1 monkey. We have a turn 1 monkey. This is why Sanctifier is kind of trash in this matchup. Kind of hard to beat triple counterspell. And this is why they didn't want the relic to resolve, so love to potentially draw Ensnaring Bridge here. I hope they don't have whatever counterspell. Once again, still need to draw Ensnaring Bridge, or we're just dead basically. Okay. It's +4/+4. Even if our opponent somehow has nothing. We have 2 blockers, so we are dead. All right. So bridge would have been out. So